This is going to be a video on how to connect a power cord to a garbage disposal. This one is an Evolution Select Plus that I have here. I bought the power cord kit. Now, if you do not want to buy the kit, the advantage of buying the kit is you end up getting this little wire, this connector thing that screws into the bottom of the disposal, and it's a wire clamp. Comes with the cable, comes with the wire nuts. None of this stuff comes with the standard disposal. Some of the units, some of the really expensive ones, do come with the kit. You should be able to, if you have an older disposal that already has this on there, then just remove the cable clamp. Make sure that your cord is not frayed or damaged, and you can reuse the cord, and just probably strip the wires again and then connect it. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. If my videos help you out, please do a thumbs up, subscribe, like, share, comment, you know, all the stuff that all of us tubers say. If you want to donate to my channel, ask for my PayPal info. Make sure you click on the affiliate links in the video description. It always helps me out if you buy from Amazon. So I've got the thing turned upside down, and don't use a wimpy little tiny screwdriver head. Use a solid one, a big one. I think this is like a number 2. A number 2, yes, is always better than a number 1. Turn the thing upside down, protect it. I've got mine on carpet. And so what do we have now? We've got the area where the cable clamp is going to be. We've got the ground screw, and we have the 2 wires that are hidden inside here. Place this aside. Don't lose the screw. If you lose the screw, you're definitely screwed. I'm going to take the wire out, make sure you don't scratch it on the side. It's not rough, so you should be okay. We have, in this case, we have a black-yellow. Normally this would be a black and a white. If you're in the US, I don't know why they use the yellow. So now I'm going to go take this out of the package, and then I'll come back. Remove the wires from the compartment. There's a plastic shield over here. Do not remove it. They tell you that over and over again. It's a protective shield so that the wires, if they would short, would not touch the metal part of the unit. So you get out this Romex thing, this Romex clamp, the nut over here. Take the nut and turn it all the way back so that you have all this threaded space. And then you go into the hole over here, insert this into the hole. Isn't that the story of life? You don't want to cross-thread it. You do want to go clockwise. For people that don't know what clockwise is, that is to the right. That means this way. This on the top, hold it on the top. You don't want to tighten the nut down while you're doing this. You want the nut to stay up at the top. Tighten it down after you get it tightened down. Then you want to go in and tighten your nut. Yeah, that should be okay. You can get in there if you want. If you're worried about it, you can go in there with a screwdriver. You can go there with channel locks or a little wrench. For me, what I did is I turned it back a little bit so that I could position this the way I wanted it. Just only like a quarter of a turn. And now I'm going to go tighten down the nut. That way I can get the screwdriver in there a little easier. Maybe. I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference. But we'll see. So I'm going to turn that around. And where did I put my channel locks? I'm going to take my channel locks, open them up a little bit, and I wish these screws weren't here right now, making that a little difficult to do this. So I'm going to turn them out. Yeah, they left just enough space so that you can get a screwdriver in there. I'm going to get in there with my channel locks, and I'm going to try to tighten this down right now. If it lets me, it's not going to let me. No, it did. It did. I want to get these screws out a little bit further. to make life a little easier. So there we are. We are tight now. We are definitely tight. Still tightening up with just a little bit. All right, we got that done. You can see the opening over there. I've got my finger, so we've got the opening. Now what we're going to do, as I said, it comes with wire nuts. You're going to need wire nuts. You don't have to use, I'm going to be removing the Scotch tape from here. You don't have to use electrical tape. I use electrical tape. I don't know if there'll be room inside there to do it. There should be. It puts some protective heat shrink on here, and the wires are already stripped. They could have covered them up for shipping, but that's okay. We'll get this fed through. Take the cord now, feed it into here, and so the protective coating is so that it will clamp down on here. So you don't want to, they don't want you to mess with the length of the wires. They don't want you to do anything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push this through to make my connection a little easier, and then after I am done, I'll slide the wire back out. I just want to be able to work on it without being confined to a small piece of cable coming out of here. So we have, for those of you that don't know, AC, you can connect either wire of the cord. It's not going to matter. It is not going to matter at all. But if you have any doubt, AC is alternating current. It goes in back and forth. You don't have to worry about a positive and a negative. So we've got the wires that I said have already been stripped, and in the instructions they'll say connect the white to the white. Well, you have a white, but you don't have a white over here. So now, if you've never used a wire nut before, what you do with a wire nut is, this is soldered, that was good of them to do. You place the wire next to the wire that you were going to put the wire nut on. You don't twist these together, you twist this together. So it will work, but you don't have to, you don't twist, you don't wrap this around when you're using a wire nut. If you're not using a wire nut, twist it around together and tape it. If you're using a wire nut, you place the wire nut, place the two wires on the wire nut, and you screw it on. And you let the wire nut, if the wire nut works the way it's supposed to, it will twist the wires in there. I don't like how this feels. It doesn't really feel like it's grabbing. It doesn't feel like it wound around there well. But that's what it does. It takes the two wires, it spins them in there. You can see I'm holding on to this. And so now if I pull on the wire nut, it's not going to come off. And chances are, once a wire nut's on there, it's never coming off. But you never know. In life, you never know, you know. So I've got this brand new roll of electrical tape. Just going to take a tiny piece, maybe 6 inches. We all know how to measure 6 inches, don't we? And so you'll go over here, get this wire out of the way. I'll wrap this around the wire, get it on your nut. And all I'm doing with this is I am tightening the wire nut to the wire. Now the problem with doing this is if you ever have to take it out, it's always a hassle because electrical tape is all gunky when you go to remove it. But if my connection was not good, we're okay. Because it's not going to come out and do damage. So I've got this ground wire over here. I want to get the ground wire out of the way. And get my black wire. Spin your, they really could have stripped this a little further, but you know, that's okay. Line them up as best you can. Get your nut, grab your nut, put it on the wire, hold the wire with this hand, pull both wires with this hand, and turn this thing so that it spins the wires inside the nut. Nice secure connection. And then I'm going to go grab another 6 inches of wire, or 6 inches of tape, not wire. I'm going to get it around the wire, right at the base of the wire nut, wrap it around the nut a little bit, and now we're almost done. So if you want to leave a good comment, that's cool. Don't leave comments about too many ads. Don't leave comments about this should have been done in 1 minute instead of 2 minutes. You know, I won't even keep the comments. So I do this to help people. I don't need problems. I don't need people aggravating me, leaving me rude comments. So what I've got here now is I've got my ground screw, the green ground screw, and I'm going to take this little wire lug and I'm going to put this on the green wire, and again go be careful when you do this. You don't want to damage the, well, you know, you can always damage things. You don't want to strip the screw. So what I'm going to do now is, you can see I have a major cluster in here. I'm going to go back and pull my wire out of the Romex connector and give myself some room over here. Once you do this, you don't want to try to place this on the ground, because this thing's going to be extending and your disposal is going to fall over. So you see how I shoved the wires? I didn't shove them. You see how the wires are nicely placed inside there right now? And they're against this shield over here. They're taped up so that you don't have to worry about a short or the wire slipping out. Everything is down below the door. Ground wire is below the door, so I'm going to go take the ground wire now, and I'm going to tighten this down a little bit more so it's secure and safe. That's why you want to have a big head, so that you can go in there and do this stuff and not strip out your screw head. Or you can use a flat blade over there. So all the wires in there, we're nice and comfortable. It's nice and flat. So we've got the heat shrink, the protective shrink is where it should be. Wire is pushed in there nicely. The brand new, and the label is trying to come off on the disposal. So much for adhesive. So what I'm going to do now is tighten down my Romex nut. And after that, I'll clamp it down, clamp down the power cord. Oh, I should be talking. You never want to have dead air, do you? Of course you do. It doesn't matter. It's a YouTube video. So by doing it this way, the screws are out of the way. They're not going to be hanging over. Tighten it down. Tighten it down. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. You don't have to excessively bog it down. It's going to be under your sink. You're not going to cause any damage. So we go and get this cover plate that we had before. It fits in here. Got the little screw hole. I'm going to grab that screw hole. Well, that's what we were going to do. I don't know if that's going to happen. Yep, the screw is screwing with me. That is the hole, isn't it? Yeah, that's threaded. Oh, I see. I have a long tip on it. A long tip. That's always the problem. Get the screw lined up so it fits between these three pieces over here. Tighten it down. Now we're pretty good. I think we're good. Now, you never want to run a disposal without water because it could damage it. But you also want to make sure that this is going to work before you go into the sink and connect it. I'm going to do a really quick into a power cord thing, like 2 seconds just to hear it go vroom. Oh, I heard it. That is noisy. This was a noisy thing. When I took it out of the box, it made a lot of weird noise. The little pieces in there bopping around. I don't know how loud it is when it's running, but that is how you connect the power cord kit. We have a number on here, the InSinkErator power cord kit, but that's how you connect the power cord to a disposal. We have a part number. We got a part number down there, I think, part number 908D. And that's the end of the video. You don't have to do all that taping if you don't want to. I always tape wire nuts. And, but this is not a hard job to do if you don't feel confident, if you don't feel like you know what you're doing, go hire an electrician to do that if you want to spend the $100, but this is a fairly easy thing to do. If you're able to install the disposal under your sink, you're definitely going to be able to install the power cord kit. Thanks for watching, people.